But the thing is, you have to say yes to some jobs.
Hey man, don't look at the camera.
I'm looking, sorry. Yo, networking is like a muscle you have to exercise daily. I kind of package myself as like the all-in-one solution, you know? Actually, let me take that back, sorry.
He sold his soul.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I knew from the get-go, I said if I can produce results, and I've been doing good work for them for years, and if I'm gonna generate them income or more income, I don't see why they wouldn't say no to that. What's going on? My name is Jesse Ostroff, and you're watching LOWKEY MTL, baby.
You do a bunch of things. You do videography, photography. How did you get into that?
I mean, I've always loved movies growing up. Like that was always my thing. Like I still collect my DVDs, my Blu-rays. You know, I still like watch that religiously. So like I always knew that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I've always been fascinated around cameras and just taking like I don't know, like your camera sees differently than your eye. It's like an extension of the eye. So I find like there's something that's so beautiful that like when you capture a moment and like you look back on that now, and especially like during COVID and stuff, I've been looking through so many pictures and like I've gone to appreciate what I do a lot more. But like I've always had that obsession, that fascination with like print, like specific media, like physical media, like stuff you can hold that's tangible, that's a vibe, you know. So I've always like been interested in that kind of stuff, mainly from movies. So like
storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many amazing stories, and like the internet has like skyrocketed that process where we could produce stuff and share it to the world and potentially go viral. So like I've always been interested in just kind of like talking to people, getting to know people, capturing their story, getting that angle, like seeing something about themselves that they might not even notice about themselves, you know. So it's kind of finding that little thing people don't realize about themselves, you know.
Yeah, I remember you back in the days had like a YouTube channel.
Kind of. I mean, I feel like I had one, but I never.
But you're like one of those guys that had one when like nobody else, like when YouTube wasn't that crazy yet.
Yeah.
You were like putting out videos on it just for fun, kind of thing.
I mean, I was putting out stuff that I made. It was mostly like stupid comedies and stuff.
Yeah, but you were filming them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You were producing them as well.
Yeah, 100%. So that's where more the movie stuff came in. So
how did that start? Yeah, it was a school project or something.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Dawson for cinema video communications, which was I mean, it was more like a video producing type of program. So like I had that background, but like I kind of always went against like the rails and did like always my own stuff. Like for example, like I remember this one of my mentors, Phil, legendary guy. But there was like, I don't know, 20 people in the class, and like everyone's homework that week was to pitch an idea. Obviously like 3 kids did the homework. So then there was like 12 kids that went in one group, and I'm like, I don't like that idea. I'm gonna do my own thing, you know? So I pitched mine, which was like, it was kind of like not crazy. It was kind of crazy at the time, but it was like about like basically a guy that's trying to go see his girlfriend give birth. But on the other side, there's this old lady that passes out, and it's the last metro, and this guy has no money, no cash, his phone's dead, so he has to make like a moral choice whether to help someone that's dying in front of him or go seeing his girlfriend give birth. Okay. So just in that shoot alone, we had to contact the SPM. We needed permission. They gave us permission, and we went to shoot, and then they kicked us off the turn rolls because they said you got a permission out stuff. So right from an early age, I kind of learned a lot about producing, a lot about kind of shooting in real locations, working with real actors, because like I had to ask one of my teachers who was a little bit elderly to be on, because we went to Kijiji for auditioning, and they wanted money. We had no money for that, you know. So
you went to Kijiji for auditioning. What do you mean?
I mean, I put an ad out for actors that are over the age of 60 to be in my movie, and they're like, yeah, I got some applicants, but they're like, yeah, my day rate's like $200 an hour. I'm like, okay, bro, I'm making like $10 an hour, bro. I'm not making money off this.
You should have said internship.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You had access to all the gears through school?
Some of it, to be fair. It wasn't the top end gear or whatnot, but it was enough to get started and to create something.
Dope. So what like camera too, I'm assuming? What kind of camera were you using?
It was a T3i, so a Canon T3i, DSLR.
Yeah, those are like a good beginner camera, eh?
That was my first camera actually.
Yeah, okay, sick. Yeah. So did you start, like at that time, were you already big into photography, or were you mainly like video? Mainly video. I think photography kind of came after, because like I found I was doing a lot of research on video, and I found a lot, not all of it, but there was a lot of skill sets that overlapped with photography. So I figured photography is easier and more accessible. Not necessarily an easier craft, but it's more
it's easier to take a picture than to edit a video, because you take a picture, you could edit it a lot faster than a 30-second video. So like I kind of took it upon myself to kind of learn photography to improve my videography. And I was always noticing how some pictures, the lighting was insane and some crazy, like a lot of thought and effort went into it. So I kind of tried to learn a little bit more lighting through pictures, mainly because it's a still image. Like I said, something tangible you can hold and you could see and you could feel. And
so you would always print your pictures and have them?
Exactly. Or even if it's just posting it on Instagram, but it's more I kind of use it as a way to learn video a little bit better, but now I end up doing both, so it was a win-win.
Is photography what like taught you about lighting in video, or is video like the video lighting like skills went into photography?
I mean, lighting is still something like everyone. I mean, I feel like everyone could still get better and still improve on. There's always new innovative ways to do stuff. Like there's a movie with DiCaprio and Tom Hardy, The Revenant. They shot that all in natural light, so like they only had an X amount of light per day to shoot. So that shoot went on for like 6 months longer over plan. So there's always innovative stuff to do with lighting. So like I haven't yet to master it, but.
Did you hear of like how they're using lighting in like the 3D like cartoon world now, and
the 4D and render and all that stuff?
Yeah, there's a movie that came out. It was Jamie Foxx.
Soul?
Soul, yeah.
I didn't check it out. I've been wanting to.
Okay, so apparently when they did that, there's they found this like whole new way of showcasing things with lighting, and also like with Spider-Man. Did you watch the new Spider-Man?
Spider-Verse,
yeah.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, dude, like, you know how like it was super cool, like animation and shit? And there's actually like a behind the scenes of that, and they show you how like they started using all these lighting aspects in the 3D space.
It's crazy.
How to like, and the way they use like tricks and stuff was like super innovative and like smart.
Exactly. It's always evolving. So like you can learn some basics and stuff, but actually I feel like I learned more composition in terms of photography versus video. So I find in video you're always moving the camera. So like if you're off frame, or like I don't know, I could correct it. But if I cut your head out in a picture, I can't fix that. Versus I could at least move the camera up and stuff and like use that particular segment. But I kind of learned a lot more about composition, more about like I try to kind of capture like at least a vibe or a story when I take a picture. You know, like I'm always like kind of energetic and fun and stuff. So like I get like kind of good reactions off people. But like if you tell someone to smile, like just look at me like this, they'll smile, but if like they're laughing and they're smiling, like it's body, natural, their body's talking more than their face would, you know? So
that's right. Body language and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. You got to capture all that, eh? Project Guru though, what is that all about? Because I remember at a certain point you started going to all these like events and like you were going out. I think you got like a deal or something. I remember. I like kind of remember this. I don't remember.
Oh, good. I mean, Episode Guru, that was my startup, so. Yeah.
I thought it was Project Guru.
No, it is. But Episode, and I'm still kind of, that's another thing too, because like Episode Guru, like I have a partner who's my mentor essentially, but he was doing other stuff simultaneously, and then his kicked off in another direction. So for a while I was kind of just doing stuff as Jesse, but...
How did you go about like the marketing of yourself? Did you think about it a lot? Because some people want to do it under a name sometimes, some people want to, you know, like... You'd use your own name as a freelancer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Cause like I feel like I think from like 2019 to like 2020, I was in a bit of an identity crisis kind of thing. Not necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing because I had that company, but I was still doing my other stuff on the side. So.
Because I would think when you have your freelancing under like a company name, you have more chances of doing more corporate and like
exactly. That's
more bigger jobs, right?
So that's the thing. I kind of use the company more for that kind of stuff, more for like more corporate work, more like because you build a portfolio, and we were very kind of key on what we were putting out there. So we really wanted to have like stuff that like quality speaks at the end of the day, you know. So
your work shows for what you can do.
Exactly. And the thing too, when you work with corporate too, you really got to work with under their standards, not their standards, like their time frame, their vision, which is great. But like sometimes when people don't have a vision, you have to try to create it for them, and that's why communication before any project.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna hire somebody, because you're looking at their style specifically, right? So I feel like it would make more sense as a company owner to just give the creative freedom to the creator, the videographer, to do his thing, you know?
It would, but at the end of the day, there's sometimes people call me and they have all these ideas, or they tell me about what they do, and I'm like the person that says, oh, well, this is how I would see you do the video for, and then they're like, oh my God, that's such a good idea, but like realistically, I'm just repackaging what they're saying. So it's like, when I'm meeting a client, or
are you repackaging what they're saying just so that you don't have that like back and forth of like ideas?
Well, not necessarily. It's more just about, I find it's more about taking, like, getting to know them. Like I make sure when I like onboarding a client, or I'm like speaking to potential clients or existing clients, that like I speak to them, hey, what you doing? How's this? Why did you get into it? I ask them a bunch of questions, and I feel like they're almost kind of shocked, because like I'm not pitching them anything, I'm not talking about any videos, I'm just kind of wanting to know about them. And then when I know about them, then I have the video in my head in 5 minutes, because like I get a sense of how they are, if they're super like presentable, they're charismatic and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of feed ideas that are built off what I realize about them. And generally they're kind of shocked for the better, because they're like, oh wow, that's like, I didn't think of that, or that's great, I could totally see myself doing that. But I was able to do that based on talking to them first, forming that relationship first, bringing up stuff that they actually brought up to begin with, you know?
And it's also, you're a stranger meeting them for the first time, so how you would interpret them is how most people would see them, right?
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, 100%, man. And then there's also people like that I know personally, that they have no idea, and then I could be like, well, hey, I remember you did this a couple of years ago, even what you just told me. I remember you did this YouTube channel, like I kind of forgot about it, not gonna lie. But,
At that time, like with your long hair and
man,
your sim coach.
Thor, baby.
The Thor days. I remember the YouTube channel at that time.
And I was doing a lot of little ads for the company too, so I was always doing
so how did that happen? Did you just start pitching that to them yourself?
So basically what happened is that I was, I studied communication, so like I was just doing degrees, and I was kind of doing more research on myself based on, because I was never the type of person, like I went to school, but like I always had that entrepreneur mindset. Like I knew for the get-go almost, like that I didn't not necessarily want to work for a company. I knew that option would always be there, so I figured right after school, or while I'm in school, I want to start working for myself, build something up, and worst case, if I want to go back to a company or whatnot, that option's always there, you know? So when what happened was, I was working at that company for 5 years at the time, or 4, whatever. I worked there forever.
What was it again?
The Montreal Institute of Swimming.
Okay, so you were coaching there, right?
I was the private swim coach. I was the head coach of the swim team, and then I was telling them, guys, there's zero like media, like social media presence. And like there's times where I had like swimmers that got like a national one, like provincial time standard and whatnot, and like I'm sending my boss pictures. I'm like, yo, post this on the page. This is awesome. It represents our swim club. Never posted anything. So what happened was, it was 2016, and I remember this because it was my last summer at the pool. I went to meet with my boss, and I told him, hey, look, I think there's a lot of potential, because as like you're thriving already and you have zero marketing. I think if you actually put out some videos, the chances of you getting new clients is going to skyrocket. So what happened is, I kind of volunteered for 3 months, and I said, listen, I'll make as many videos as I can for 3 months, because I have another summer job. I want to enjoy my summer too.
Was that your first like job for like a company, for example?
For video, yeah, because the thing is, like...
So you did do free work at first, and you're just like...
Yeah, for sure. And I believe in free work, but you have to be calculated with the free work too.
Right,
So for me, when I knew them, I knew that company, and I knew how they were too, because I've known them. Like I said, it all goes about going back and talking to the client. So I knew for a fact he was not media tech savvy. He needed results to justify. Oh yeah, I'm not that much older. I mean, 10 years older.
Okay.
But there's still a gap, honestly, from
sure.
like that 10 years, because like we were born into it and they were kind of learning about it, you know?
Right, yeah.
But I knew from the get-go, I said, if I can produce results, and I've been doing good work for them for years, and if I'm gonna generate them income or more income, I don't see why they wouldn't say no to that. So I told him, listen, I'll make as many as I can throughout the summer. I think I only made 3, but this is the one that kind of like, this was like my mic drop comment, because he launched the Parents and Tots class, and it was a quarter full. After my video dropped, there was a waiting list. So like he knew right off the bat, okay, whatever you're doing is working, I want to continue this. So I did that for 2 years actually. I pretty much grew. I helped them expand all over Canada, because they expanded from Montreal to like Canada Swim School.
Did they expand before that? Or
no.
They're just a single like...
No, I mean, I wasn't the reason why they expanded. Right. They were talking about it before, but every video I made, I branded it for Canada Swim School and for Montreal Institute of Swimming. So there was cross branding, and like when you're going into a new market where you're unknown, not like Montreal, at least like their faces are everywhere. When you're going to like Ottawa or GTA or whatnot, you have no media presence, no one knows who you are. You need like videos to help distribute you. So like I double branded them, and then they're still doing both.
That's dope. What were you marketing them on at first? Facebook or Instagram?
Pretty much just Facebook. We did a little bit of Instagram, but it goes for, you got to know the audience.
What year is this again?
This is 2016.
2016 was the end part of it, right?
I mean, that's when I started doing the videos for them, and then it kind of went till like till 2018, because then by then, like, I feel like I maxed out that job. Like, I could teach swimming with my eyes closed. I've been swimming my whole life, so
that's the other thing, right? You were teaching there and you were inside of it, so like you knew how to portray the message.
Well, exactly, and that's another thing I said too, because I said if you hire another videographer, one, chances of them knowing swimming are not very high, because not like I was born into it. I was a competitive swimmer. I know what to capture, you know, like I was born in water.
Yeah, what are the odds of a photographer knowing how to swim?
Yeah, and I was doing all this cool stuff with GoPros and stuff, because I was like, with those breaststroke, I was kind of going up and stuff, and all this stuff was like super, like, I don't want to say innovative.
It's creative, yeah.
It was creative, but it was more creative because I knew the space, like, in and out. Like I said, I could do it with my eyes closed. So like, on top of me knowing marketing, me knowing photography, and then me knowing the sport, I kind of packaged myself as like the all-in-one solution, you know. So
when you were doing Episode Guru, you started going to all these events and stuff.
Yeah, man.
What were did that help? I guess those are networking events, and of course they help. But like,
I was kind of in 2018. I remember it was more like, that's when I kind of said, yo, I'm working for myself. Like, I'm taking a leap of faith, for lack of better words, you know? I knew for a fact that I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm qualified, I'm smart, you know what I mean? So I said, worst case,
you weren't worried at all,
Yeah, I wasn't worried, and I never have been, because I think if you want to do something, you have to commit to it. And then if you're getting signs that it's not working, then you could take a step back and repivot and whatnot. I'm a firm believer in that. But I said to myself, if I want to go start a business, I need clients, or I need to meet people, I need to get my name out there. But I kind of never went to networking events to pitch people. I just kind of talked to people, I built relationships up, and then it was almost like there's certain people, like, I don't want to say influencers or whatnot. I kind of don't like that word, to be honest.
I don't think anybody likes that word, but I get what you mean, though.
Yeah, but there was people in this, like, they were, I guess, industry disruptors in their space, you know. So like,
in the Montreal space?
Yeah. So like, people like Jamie Benizri, who's like a lawyer, but you go see him on LinkedIn. This guy's like a rock star at networking events all the time.
Did he do that on his own? Like, did he start putting shit out on social media?
He has a nonprofit called BC 360.
Okay.
So he was always doing events, and like, he's someone that I always saw on LinkedIn. But it's funny because I was like at a networking event, and like I would see everyone talking to them, and like they would talk to them and it would be polite, but like I could tell, like, from a distance there was not really any substance. So like at one point he knew who I was because he saw the haircut video and everything and stuff, and like he's DDO boy, so am I. So we knew each other, and he did a LinkedIn event that I was photographing, so we knew each other briefly. But then I don't know, at one point he said, hey, what's going on, man? I'm like, yo, networking is like a muscle you have to exercise daily. And he kind of stopped and he looked at me, he's just like, I said that? I'm like, yeah, I know, I read your stuff on LinkedIn all the time. So just by me saying that, I think that was like a big deal, because I don't know what other people were telling him, or if they were just wanting to meet him for him, but like I kind of just showed right off the bat that like this is a guy that I really respect and I read his stuff and I look up to. So I think just little stuff like that, that's me being me. And then later I saw him at another networking event. We were having a drink, and like he kissed me on the cheek, and I'm like, yo, bro, I haven't had a kiss on a cheek from a dude since my bar mitzvah. And this guy was like dying laughing, you know. So but like, it just took me being me to form that relationship, you know?
Yeah, because if you're being comfortable in yourself, he's naturally going to be comfortable in
exactly. So he knew I did video. So that's the thing. I knew if I had the relationship with not just him, with anyone, they want to follow. They're going to ask me about me and whatnot, and they'll see what I do, and maybe they want to work with me. But if not, I have a good network. I know a lawyer, I know this, I know that, and it's super important.
Yeah, knowing people is always good. Like, networking is so key. Like, it's always the people you know. Like, most of my bigger opportunities are from people I know.
Yeah, or it's like a friend that knows someone. It's like the 4% rule. Like, I get referrals from like...
What's the 4% rule?
I think it's called the 4% rule, so don't quote me on it. But basically...
it's better be right, man.
Yeah, man. You're freaking... It's going live on the
facts.
Jeez. But it's basically like, if you need someone... Or you need, like, I don't know, you need like an osteo or someone. If you reach out to your network, there's like a 4% chance that someone in your network knows someone, or they know of someone in that space. So it's basically, it's just like a spread, like someone knows it.
Okay, I get what you mean. Yeah,
kind of. I'm pretty.
Montreal is pretty small too as a city.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy how everybody somehow knows each other. Like I feel like every single person in Montreal is somehow connected.
Well, that's another thing too. When you go to networking events, because it's funny because it's like you're bringing me back. But I remember I was so pumped and excited to go to every event. But like by the third or fourth event, I'm like I was always seeing the same people. So for me, like that's how the relationships really built, because it wasn't just I was going to an event like, oh, obviously I was hoping to meet new people, but if I wasn't meeting new people, I was seeing the same people all the time. And I was like, hey, like, you told me a month ago about this. How's that going, kind of thing. I'm like, the fact that you showed that you rememred what they were talking about, that's a big deal, you know?
But it's also, some people have the ability to do that naturally because they're always living with, I guess, like, with their natural emotions. So, like, when you're remembering something with emotion, it's more ingrained in your memory, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's
and I feel like that too, because like I could meet somebody from like a long time ago. I have these random memories that I don't even know why I remember these things, and for some reason.
My mom is Mexican, so she would play Ricky Martin and Ricky Iglesias growing up, and like I don't listen to that now, but then I met a Spanish artist and I was talking to him about Ricky and Ricky Martin like it was yesterday, but I haven't heard these guys realistically in like 15, 20 years, but it's engraved in me so much that I don't know, I feel like us as humans, it's like a natural instinct almost, you know?
Yeah. I remember also one of these events that you're going to, the Epic Mealtime guy, Harley Mornstein. Yeah. Was he coming to all of them as well?
So he was like just a headliner, but then I got my haircut that day, so like my phone was already blowing up because I told no one I was getting my haircut, and I just kind of say, hey, what's going on? And like everyone was shocked. I think I had like 40 replies to my first Instagram story. I posted a picture because like perks of like being in a creative space is that like my partner too, he filmed the video of me getting my haircut because I knew if I was getting a haircut I was going to document the shit out of it, you know? But then we went to his place, his mini studio, and we took like professional headshots of my new haircut. I just posted that online so like nobody knew, and they would just see this picture, and then I'm at an event, hey, what's up, I'm from Epic Mealtime, and everyone's like kind of like, the hell's up with this guy? This guy's going crazy, but it's
he sold his soul.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's I guess that's how I kind of marketed myself unintentionally. But it was more just being me, having fun with it, you know, not trying to be anyone I'm not, you know. Like I kind of said with Jamie, I would make a joke there that like probably a joke you would normally not make with a lawyer. I made that joke, you know. So it's that's how I would do it, you know.
What kind of work did you do for him? Just like video and stuff?
Yeah, we did some video. I mean, it was more, it's kind of like, it was just more like you were kind of, I was kind of saying before, like I was going to networking events, asking him how he's doing and whatnot, seeing his stuff on LinkedIn, just kind of, I guess like looking up to him as a mentor of mine, you know, because like I find he operates the right way. He's a DDO guy. We have a lot of the same values. But then I ended up working with Justin Morgenstein, and I still do for Oak Tree. So Jamie's one of his clients, so we'd always do something. We had a ex-clientele, and at some point we needed to do an ad for them, and sometimes we'd come up with it on the spot. You know, it was very. He came in and saying, "I want to make the lawsuit," so we just filmed it. And like I was working on something else, and all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, he's here. We're doing something." So like. Sometimes you just gotta use those creative muscles, and like you have a core concept, and then you just kind of figure it out on the fly, you know.
Do you think you're more of a shooter than an editor?
I mean, that's the thing, because like I find editing is fun at first because it's new. You're mixing up you're creating your own little masterpieces, you know, because you do all your angles, and like sometimes you'll shoot stuff like close-ups of a shoe or this or that, and your client's like, "What the hell are you doing?" But like you know for a fact you're gonna use that in the editing room, so it's about shooting for the edit, but like. There's times where you're at an event, let's say if you're covering an event where there's no clear itinerary, you have to just shoot and whatever cool happens you put in the edit, but like those videos take a while, and I used to be so amped up and pumped up about them, but like now you gotta kind of like, I like kind of taking my time. Like I've been doing less projects now recently, but I find the projects or the quality of the projects have been going up because they're more planned out, there's more of a storyline. I kind of have my own creative freedom to do what I want to do, but I also know for a fact that there is a concept to follow. There's a beginning, a middle, and end, you know? So that's when I enjoy the editing, because a lot of the times, like even my music video, the one I did Numb, we just shot, I don't know if you saw that one.
I saw it,
yeah, so we were kind of worried about the red alert. So I heard the song, we were all super vibing with it, but then we had this cool idea that he's in a field and it's isolated, and I thought that was a beautiful metaphor for the song, you know? So we shot in a field, and I thought that was the video. But then I'm editing it, and I'm just like, and we shot like fragments of her, like her nails or this or that, so you're seeing fragments of the girl and you're running, but I'm like...
Your plan was to do the whole
field, just the field. So we shot for 2 hours, I'm like, that's the video. And I'm editing it, I'm like, there's no context. Why are you running to this chick? What's the history between you guys? So then But that's the thing. I realized that in the editing room, and like what I shot was passable. But I'm like, no, I'm not proud of this because I actually see this as a bigger idea or a bigger picture. So I'm like, we need to have some more of your dynamic, your relationship. When we shot at my buddy's house.
How did you prepare for that shoot though? Like, did you have a process when you came up with the field idea?
Yes and no. Basically what happened was like, I kind of learned this too, like now that I've done a couple of them, is like, you really gotta like the song or be behind the project first and foremost, because you're here, realistically, if you're editing a music video, you're hearing that song every day for 2-3 weeks in a month. So you gotta have, if there's some sort of resonant, like emotional string that you're attached to it, it always helps. It always skyrockets.
That's so true. Like, because editing is the only thing that you can't really like listen to a podcast or something while you're doing
exactly.
it.
You gotta be hyper focused.
Yeah,
on it, you know?
so true.
So I heard the song. I heard a demo in like August, and he's telling me, "Oh, what do you think of it?" And I'm like, "Bro, this is beautiful. Like, I loved it personally. Like, I would vibe to it. I still do." Mm-hmm. So then he was like almost not sure about it. I'm like, "Bro, you really got to do this. You got to do this." And then I think he got a little bit more confident about it. He added some melodies, he worked up with a producer. It turned out great. Yeah, I think I want to make a video to this. I'm like, I would love to, because I felt like when I heard the song, it resonated with me. Like, I have like I guess my own reasons why I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, okay, well, bro, this song seems like it's about like you're unsure of where you want to go, or you're with someone, but you don't know if that's the right thing to do. And like, I feel like that's very universal. Like, everyone's related to that at some point.
He didn't know, like, he didn't have a story behind it.
Well, he actually came up with the field idea, but like he just said, I envision a field, and I'm like, well, bro, we could work with that. Like, it's cool. There's some production value there and stuff. So we went to Cap Saint Jacques. We went to scout, and I'm like, yo, this is where we're shooting it. Like, I see it clearly. Mm-hmm. But and I'm like, originally it's like I said, like he's kind of walking. You see someone from the distance, and then he's going to chase this person. You're seeing fragments of her. Like, and a lot of it made the video have like eye shots or nail shots or ring shots, little details about her, and it's cutting back to him running with some emotion. But I just told him, bro, this is like a video of you running. It's like there could be something there, or we have the base of something, but that's something where when I was editing it, I realized there's a lot more substance that could be had with this. Yeah. So we went to his house and we recorded, and Selena still hates me for this, but I made them change out of outfits like 15 different times. So I wanted to sell that it was passing over time. Yeah. And Selena, the actress, she had her hair done like super tight in this particular way. And I'm like, okay, so we couldn't change her hair up, so we had to change her outfits. Then I'm editing again. I'm like, fuck, it looks like we shot everything on the same day in the same house. So I'm like, yo, Selena, we have to shoot at your house to make it look a little bit more like, and I can cut back and forth and people won't realize. But you could always be prepared, but you're only going to really realize the mistakes you made or didn't make in the editing room. So it's...
yeah, and like, no matter how much of a hassle it is, you should just make the person do it, and that way the end result's always going to be better.
Well, that's it. It's all about I always tell people, it's like or even if I go out, like if we're cold and we're posing for a picture, I'm just like, cool, it's temporary, the picture's forever, you know. But in terms of the video, I'm like, this is like, I find it for the artist, it was like a documentation of something he was going through. I'm like, yo, the fact that we created something, and first of all, so many people resonated with that video. I was kind of shocked, because like, I was making it more like, obviously I like the song, the artist and everything, and it was a job, but it was more like, I was making it more because I wanted to make it. There was more of a purpose behind that particular project I found. And I think it showed in the work too, because like, there's times, there's one even scene in the video, I even drove like half an hour to Detroit because I didn't like the take that we got, and we just re-recorded it and I added it in. It was like the last thing we did. Okay. But when you're attached to a project and you want to when you're attached to the story, you're committed to the story, or as the storyteller, even if you're not in there, like, there's a little bit of like the artist and whatever they shoot, whether it's like an aesthetic style, a storytelling, capturing the emotion. Like, well, I made them watch a bunch of shit on YouTube just to get a reaction.
That's interesting, yeah.
So that's the thing, and like, I was like,
how did you come up with that idea? You're just like, here, just follow this?
Well, the thing is, like, as a story, like, it goes back to my love for movies and stuff, but I told him, like, listen, if this if people don't buy the relationship, this video's not gonna work. I can make it look the most aesthetically pleasing, I can get $1 million crew, but if people don't buy the relationship, no matter what we do, it's not gonna work.
Did they know each other?
They did, they were friends, and that really helped out, because there was originally another person that he wanted to get on the shoot, but then she kind of was bailing out last second, and then I don't think that person would have been as flexible as Selena was in terms of helping us out there, you know?
Right, yeah. Did you ever say no to a job?
When you're young and you're hungry and you want to be doing as many jobs as possible, you say yes to everything, but then you kind of realize, one, what's your niche, what you like to shoot, because like, for example, like I'm more of a people photographer, and if there's product or if a people person, But then if I'm shooting product, I can't make a product laugh or smile and stuff, so I don't particularly enjoy that as much. And also, my work's not as high there. So you kind of realize what you like to shoot, what you don't like to shoot. And also, too, you got to kind of realize, you got to be aligned with the client. Like, if you're talking with a client, you're on the same page, there's constant communication, there's good vibes overall. That definitely helps and inclines me that I want to work with them more versus someone who's like kind of unorganized, or I'm kind of chasing them all the time. When are we shooting? When am I getting the deposit? When is this? When's that? So like you want to be working with generally good people, and there's kind of a saying that goes like, people do business with people. They don't do business with a cold call, a cold email, a cold text, or whatever it is. They want to work with persons face to face that they like and that they trust, and I feel like that's one of my main skills, since I didn't really realize I had till I kind of started working for myself, you know?
Yeah, true. Do you have anything coming up? Well, I guess during COVID, you're still getting jobs because content is high right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have any like other projects or plans you have coming up?
I mean, bro, you always gotta keep diversifying yourself. That's something that I've always believed in. So it's whether like I do sometimes interview segments now, so I'm trying to get into that space more, where I get to meet new people, I get to expose their talents to the city, and then potentially, and I'm exposing myself too as a result, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm always doing like creative projects too, like whether it's music videos or more concept based stuff. So like I have ideas sometimes. I mean, winter's not for me the best time to shoot, because like I like shooting outside a lot personally. I find it so beautiful about capturing nature, and winter too.
And just like you feel better when you're out, you don't have to worry about the cold.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like winter is too Mexican for that, you know.
Yeah, it's not in our blood.
I stay outside an hour, I'm good. But no, it's all about just kind of prepping for that next step. If you have an idea, write it down and just keep imagining it, and when the time's right, you'll be able to produce it, you know?
Oh, no. Well, dude, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
No, bro, it's an honor, man. You're killing it right now. I'm seeing a low-key 3 times a week, bro.